everyone. I'm Doris, and I'm an OG digital nomad, been around for 25 years, and I'm a mom of 3 kids. That's why I'm here. So just to get things clear, I'm not here to convince you to have babies. I'm here to share what's possible. So first up front, I just wanted you to connect with me. Get your phones out, connect with me. Anyone who connects with me will get an extract of my book, The Digital Nomad Family. So go on, connect. And just to get a feel of the audience, who here is a parent? Woo, quite a few. Who here is considering the option of becoming a parent one day? Cool. And thanks to the rest for skipping Daniel's AI talk over at the main stage for real connection and real stories. Okay, so as it happens, people, especially here in this scene, they always think, the topic around kids, that's not really relevant to us. It's not really something we need to think about. But one late night at Pier 75, getting a little too friendly, and your life is over. So, enjoy the freedom now, because once you have kids, that's it. It's all over. So who has heard this before? Now, I've heard it on every single continent, along with the saying, you got to choose. You can't have both. You can't have a wild life of adventure and a family. And I believed it. But I was wrong, and it took me 30 years to understand why. So I'm going to take you through these 3 decades in 3 big phases: solo, couple, and family. You ready for the journey? Yay! So this was my solo time. I left the beautiful South Tyrol when I was 19, went studying and did my master's in Bologna, then went to England for a 2nd degree. And once I was ready, I started my big journey as a solo traveler around the world. Just my backpack, a big, massive laptop, and dictionaries on CD-ROMs as a freelance translator across the world. And these were my worries. Sorry, that was a bit too quick. And these were my worries. So where's the next internet cafe to upload my work? Where can I find the best street food? And will I meet that one special person tonight? I did meet that one special person one night, this young Spanish man, and together we explored the globe across 50 countries. And back then, I was convinced digital nomads don't become parents. There was no such thing as digital nomad family Instagrammers. I mean, there was no Instagram in the first place. And I just thought family is the end of adventure. However, a few years later, we started to have the urge of having, of sharing this beautiful world with a child of our own. So we took the decision to start a family, and this is the message we received. You got to settle down, play it safe, and be a responsible adult. What's a responsible adult anyway? And we fell for it, hard. So we settled down in London, got a 9-to-5 job, got a mortgage, paid almost my entire salary into childcare, and we were absolutely miserable. I remember rushing into work on my bike with little Paco to drop him off, always late. And just as I was going into my meeting, a message on my phone. Paco's first steps. And I watched them on video in between the meetings, and my voice is shaking because it's quite emotional. And I thought, is this the grown-up dream? Is this really it? And then one great night, we were sitting at the kitchen table, me and my husband, Paco on my lap, and a positive pregnancy test in my hand. and something just snapped. And we thought, how can we do this differently? How can we actually create a life around our family and not the other way around? So we took a radical decision and we said, let's create a different life, go remote working, and expose our kids to a diverse environment. So we sat down with our employers, negotiated for quite a whole year. We negotiated to be able to work remotely, and finally we got the green light to work remotely. Remember, this was 2009, so well before the pandemic and before it was actually more common. We sold our apartment, we got the green light to work remotely, we sold our apartment, we moved first to the Alps, had my third one there, and then we moved to southern Spain, and what a change. What a change. Suddenly we could have slow mornings, we could walk our kids to the forest playgroup, we could walk to the kindergarten at the beach, and we finally managed to create this life around work, around our family, not around work. As part of the evolution as digital nomads, maybe some of you have the same feeling, we had this crave of creating our own base camp. So we designed our own house, we built it, and my mom said, now you finally got to settle for good. Did we settle for good? No. Our nomad soul just got itchy again, and we headed off again. Next stop, Northern Ireland, and we got the hang of this. So, well, they call it slow nomading. What does it mean? So, for us, it meant to actually really slow down. 2 of our kids were already in school age, so we had to slow down and to really immerse into a country, to really get deep into the culture, into the language, into the life, the local life. And so we typically choose a location, stay there for 2 years, because we worked it out as our sweet spot, stay there for 2 years, and then we choose the next location. And that's what we've been doing for the past 10 years. So we change every 2 years location. And people say, don't your kids need stability? Don't they need one house, one school, one routine? I'm sure many of you were thinking the same right now. And they say, aren't you just a bit selfish? Isn't it just all about you and you're just dragging these kids behind you? And to be honest, there were many moments where these doubts and these worries and this guilt comes in, you know, especially these 3 a.m. moments where these voices get really loud. Am I just fucking up my kid's life? You know, is this worth it? And, you know, is it just me being selfish? Will they stay behind in education? Will they going to end up on a therapist's couch one day? But then I see them and, you know, making friends in 5 languages and thriving in ways that I could have never planned for. And I know it's worth it. And I've learned one thing. Through all these trial and errors, there's one thing I learned. Kids don't need a fixed postcode. What do they actually need? Kids need connection, love, and anchors. But it's not those anchors in a port, in one fixed place. It's actually anchors in people and in rituals. And it's quite an important one. So rituals, when I talk about rituals, it's those little things that make you feel like, yes, we're still us. Wherever we are, we're still us. So what works for us, or what we worked out over the years, is we have these rituals like Thursday night, game night, Friday night, it's pizza night, wherever we are. And even if we don't have an oven, it's just bread and cheese. Saturday, it's adventure day, so it goes snowboarding, sailing, it's outdoors, hiking, cycling, whatever. And Sundays is pajama day. It's slow down, nothing planned. Then we take them things with you wherever we go, and one of the things is those maps that you can see. So we roll them up, we personalize them, we roll them up, and wherever we go, the first thing we do, we put them up on the wall. and we're home. It feels we're home. Anyone has anything that you take with you wherever you go, like a little spoon or something very personal?
Palisanto, and then we clean the room with palisanto.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Another one is reading bedtime stories, even if it's in 3 languages or whichever they choose, whichever country they miss most, it's reading wherever we are, it's bedtime stories. Let's talk about school, the big question, the big elephant in this room. What about school? What are the options in this world schooling space? So we've got, these are the most common options. Homeschooling, that's for those who are extra patient, more patient like a saint, and who've got a lot of time on their hands. Then we've got international schools with those who have the extra cash and who love to have just a continued education. Then we've got the local schools for those who just really love to immerse, even if they don't understand what they say in the parent WhatsApp group. And then we've got the hybrid approach. That's for those families who think life is like a buffet. You can just pick and choose. And we're the ones who like the buffet, so we pick and choose. So on one side, we choose local schools, so wherever we go, kids go to local school. And so we started off, I'm an obsessed linguist, so I love languages, and I think it's the best gift you can give to your children. So the reason behind these moves was mostly around language. First off in London, then over to the Alps, down to Spain, Spanish deep immersion, up to Northern Ireland, fluent English with that nice, sweet Northern Irish accent, down to Zurich, Switzerland, with that really strong Swiss German accent, over to Lugano, Italian, and now we just got back to Malaga for some roots for them to get more immersed into my husband's culture. So basically, they've now experienced 7 different school systems in these past 15 years, and it's been amazing because we could really take from each system just the best it offers. For example, in Switzerland, it's that sweet spot between 4 and 8, that was their age, which is when kids are exposed mostly to, so the focus is on arts, outdoors, and social skills, so hence the reason why we went to Switzerland in that period of time, also because before childcare is extremely expensive, so it was all a bit of a calculation around costs and school systems. And then 4 months a year, we then take off and travel across the world, mostly Africa and Asia, for that world schooling experience. So if they had learned about the Egyptians in school, let's go to Egypt and check it out. If they learned about marine biology, let's go to the Philippines and snorkel our way around. So this is a bit our combination of stability, 8 months in a local school, and then this sense of adventure of just doing the world schooling. Here we are, 8 moves, 5 languages, and 90 countries later, 50 with the kids. And it all looks very glamorous and all very fun, but we all know it's hard work and it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Lots of challenges. I remember when we were moving to Lugano, we were crossing the Alps in our fully packed van. It was heavily snowing. My little boy was sick. And when we got to the new house, it was like an old stone house. The heating didn't work that night. And it was just one big disaster. And the kids were crying, and I was crying too. It's just the reality. That's the price you pay. And so it's a lot of goodbyes. It's heartbreaking to see them say goodbye to their friends, picking new schools, finding new schools, settling them in, new housing, packing and unpacking for 5 people. It's draining. New languages over and over again, finding new activities, giving up old activities, finding that sense of community when you get to a new place, and also adapting to a new environment. This is my husband in Northern Ireland, mid-July. Not happy. And then you think, is it really worth it? You know, all this struggle, all this hard work, is it worth it? It is, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be standing in front of you. So what we've learned, to really live slowly and more intentionally, to focus on what matters now. Nothing of this has been planned. It just happened. So we didn't have this 10-year plan to build community wherever we land. And the next point is the most important and the most difficult one for digital nomads, to protect family time and set boundaries. Now for us, that's a non-negotiable. So we block 2 hours over lunch and 2 hours in the evening for family time. No exceptions, no calls, no work, just us. And that's really, if there's nothing else you take away from this talk, that's it. You're allowed to set boundaries and to really set your priorities. And what we gained, those deep family bonds over school walks, hikes, and even those late night delays at the airport, and resilient and open-minded world citizens. So what's next? I've just turned 50, and as you can see, they're no longer kids, so the childhood phase is coming to an end. They've become intriguing teenagers, all of them, and soon adults. I know they will be flying off the nest very soon. In fact, my eldest just graduated last week, and he decided he wants to go to university in the Netherlands. So I know this is now a change again. It's the next step in this phase, and I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen next and how we evolve as a family. So as I'm standing here in front of you, I just want to confirm, life is not over once you have kids. It evolves. It just changes into different phases, and each phase is a whole chapter in its own. So above all of it, the journey is always the reward. It's along the way. If you like this talk, and if you'd like to know more about it, go more into depth, I've got a whole chapter about schooling, about education, and it's a whole guide. This is my book, The Digital Nomad Family, and it's really a guidance with lots of exercises to really get prepared for this new life abroad and how to do it the fun way. Thank you very much. I'd also love you to connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. That's where I put all my travels. So do get out your phone and connect with me on Instagram. Thank you very much.